Hello, dear friends, it is Cozy. Have you ever wondered if the start of your day holds a secret, a hidden potential waiting to be unlocked? We often hear about the morning rituals of highly successful individuals, those who seem to greet the dawn with an almost magical energy. It made me think, what if the way we begin our day could truly transform not just our productivity, but our inner peace, our sense of well-being? Could a routine, seemingly so structured, actually bring more joy and calm into our lives, rather than feeling like another chore? I decided to embark on a little experiment, a journey into the heart of the billionaire morning routine. For 7 days, I committed to waking before the sun, to engaging in practices designed to sharpen the mind, energize the body, and soothe the soul. It felt like a significant undertaking, a departure from my usual gentle awakenings. I wondered, would this structured approach feel restrictive, or would it perhaps create a new kind of spaciousness in my day and in my spirit? I invite you to join me as I share what unfolded. What if you could borrow the mornings of billionaires, just for a week? Would it supercharge your focus, your health, maybe even your bank account? I tested it so you don't have to. The first sound, the gentle chime at 5 a.m., felt like a soft knock from a world still asleep. My home, usually stirring with the later morning light, was wrapped in a profound stillness. It was a quiet I hadn't consciously experienced in a long time. Getting out of bed, I must admit, was a challenge. My body, accustomed to a different rhythm, whispered its desire for more rest. Yet there was a unique quality to this early hour, a sense of pristine, untouched potential that was quite intriguing. I tried to greet this new time with respect, as if I were meeting a special guest. I found myself moving with a different kind of awareness. Each step was more deliberate in the pre-dawn hush. The air itself felt cooler, cleaner. It was as if the world outside my window was holding its breath, waiting for the sun. This initial struggle, this gentle negotiation with my own comfort, became the first step in this journey. It wasn't about forcing myself, but about choosing to explore this new territory, to see what treasures it might hold. I reminded myself that every significant change begins with a single, sometimes hesitant step into the unfamiliar. The house felt different, almost sacred in its silence. There were no distractions, no demands from the outside world yet. The next step in this carefully curated morning was hydration. A simple glass of water, 500 milliliters to be precise, followed by 5 minutes of embracing the early light, even if just from my balcony. This felt like a very natural, very kind way to greet my body after its night of rest. Holding the cool glass, I thought of water as a cleansing element, not just for thirst, but as a way to gently awaken my internal systems. It was a moment of quiet offering, a simple act of self-care that felt both grounding and refreshing. Drinking the water slowly, I tried to be present with the sensation, feeling it nourish me. It was a small ritual, but it felt significant. It was like watering a plant that has been dormant through the night, preparing it for the day's growth. Then came the sunlight. Stepping onto the balcony, even when the air was crisp, was a beautiful experience. The world was often still bathed in the soft hues of pre-dawn or early sunrise, a gentle awakening of colors. This wasn't harsh sunlight, but a soft, diffused glow that felt like a visual whisper. I would stand there for just 5 minutes, allowing the light to touch my face and hands. Following the gentle awakening with water and light, the routine guided me towards 10 minutes of mindfulness or meditation. This, for me, felt like tidying the mind. Just as we create order in our physical spaces to bring calm and clarity, meditation offers a way to create a similar sense of order within our inner landscape. I found a comfortable, quiet spot, a little sanctuary in my home, and settled in. At first, my mind, like a busy room, was filled with fluttering thoughts, plans for the day, lingering dreams, small worries. The instruction was simply to observe, to notice these thoughts without judgment, and to gently guide my attention back to my breath. This practice of letting go, even for a few moments, was incredibly powerful. It was like opening a window in a stuffy room, allowing fresh air to circulate. The goal wasn't to empty the mind completely, an often misunderstood concept, but rather to create a little space between myself and my thoughts to realize that I am the observer, not the thoughts themselves. Chapter 4: Heartfelt Words, the Joy of Gratitude and Goal Journaling. After the quiet stillness of meditation, the next 5 minutes were dedicated to gratitude and goals journaling. This felt like a beautiful way to consciously direct the mind towards positivity and purpose. Taking out my journal and a favorite pen, I would first focus on gratitude. The task was simple: to write down a few things I was thankful for. This could be anything from the comfort of my home, to the warmth of a loved one, to the simple beauty of the morning light. This act of consciously acknowledging the good in my life, however small, had an immediate uplifting effect on my mood. It was like shining a light on the treasures that already exist, rather than focusing on what might be lacking. It shifted my perspective, helping me to start the day with a heart full of appreciation. It reminded me that even in the midst of challenges, there is always something to be grateful for. This practice felt like tending to a small, precious garden within my soul, nurturing the flowers of joy and contentment. Chapter 5. Igniting Energy, the 30-minute Height Awakening. Next on the agenda was a 30-minute high-intensity interval training or HIIT session. Now this was a significant shift in energy from the quiet contemplation of meditation and journaling. I must admit, the thought of such an intense workout so early in the morning was initially a little daunting. My cozy sensibilities wondered if this might be too jarring, too forceful. However, I approached it with an open mind, curious to see how my body would respond to this burst of dynamic movement. The intensity was undeniable. Short bursts of vigorous activity followed by brief recovery periods really got my heart pumping and my muscles working. There were moments when I felt challenged, when my breath came quickly and my body called for rest. Chapter 6. Nourishing the Mind, Replacing Doom Scrolling with Deliberate Learning. After the invigorating HIIT session, the routine allocated 30 minutes for learning, either reading a book or listening to an engaging podcast. This felt like a wonderful way to nourish the mind, to intentionally feed it with knowledge and inspiration, rather than passively consuming whatever the digital world might offer. For me, this was a conscious choice to replace the habit of morning doom scrolling, which often left me feeling anxious or overwhelmed, with something far more enriching. I chose books and podcasts that sparked my curiosity, that offered new perspectives, or that taught me something valuable. It could be a topic related to personal growth, a fascinating piece of history, or insights from an inspiring individual. Holding a physical book, feeling the texture of the pages, or listening intently to a thoughtful conversation created a sense of focused engagement that was deeply satisfying. Chapter 7. Charting the Course, the Clarity of the MIT List. The final step in this intensive billionaire morning routine before officially starting the workday was a brief 5-minute session dedicated to planning my most important tasks, or MITs. This felt like the culminating act of bringing order and intention to the day ahead. After awakening the body, calming the mind, cultivating gratitude, and absorbing new knowledge, this was the moment to strategically direct all that renewed energy and clarity towards what truly mattered. Taking just 5 minutes to identify 2 or 3 key tasks that would make the biggest impact on my day was surprisingly powerful. It wasn't about creating an exhaustive to-do list that could feel overwhelming. Instead, it was about pinpointing those critical few items that, if accomplished, would make the day feel productive and successful. Outro Reflections on a Billionaire's Dawn, my cozy takeaway. So, after 7 days of embracing the billionaire morning routine, what did I discover? I found that while the structure was demanding, it also created an incredible sense of spaciousness and clarity. Each element, from the early wake-up to the MIT planning, felt like a carefully chosen tool designed to sharpen the mind, energize the body, and nurture the spirit. It wasn't just about mimicking billionaires. It was about discovering how a deliberate start to the day can profoundly impact one's sense of well-being and purpose. The quiet hours of the morning truly hold a special kind of magic, a potential for deep connection with oneself before the world rushes in. This journey taught me that even the most ambitious routines can be approached with a sense of gentleness and self-compassion. It's not about perfection, but about intention. Perhaps not every element will resonate with everyone or be sustainable long-term, but the core principles, mindfulness, gratitude, learning, movement, and planning, offer a powerful framework for crafting a morning that truly sparks joy and sets a positive tone for the entire day.